We recognise that we have a role to play. Unusual for an industry. We're actually completely united on this. This is strange. The airline industry has got together and agreed on measures to address our impact on the environment, and we've set ourselves what I believe are very challenging targets to ensure that we play our part in ensuring that going forward aviation has less of an impact on climate change than we have today.
But you need help, or what is it you need from government?
Yeah, we need a framework from government. The part of the solution is a global mechanism for carbon trading. It's not good enough that we have these regional devices, because you get this patchwork quilt of overlapping regulations which never work in the interests of the industry, never work in the interests of the consumer, and I would argue don't actually work in the interests of the environment either. So what we want is a global scheme that covers aviation, and the only way we can do that is to get governments to agree to construct one and to apply it in an even fashion across the world.
This is about a trading scheme, an ongoing scheme. It's going to be very difficult to get that level of agreement that will allow you to implement. So why are you going for this?
Yeah, I agree it will be very difficult, but not impossible. And I think we've got to push for something that is difficult, but will make a difference. And we believe that this is the only option to ensure that the industry can play its full part. We can do certain things as an industry. We're investing collectively trillions of dollars in new aircraft that will be much more fuel efficient than the aircraft that they will replace. They'll also be quieter. They will produce less noxious emissions impacting on local air quality. So the industry will play its part. We're pursuing and spending a lot of money developing sustainable biofuels. What we want is assistance from regulators and governments.
Money?
Well, not money, actually. What we want is schemes that will incentivise in the same way as they're incentivising, sustainable fuels for cars. So why is it that governments are prepared to pay for research and development to have more efficient cars, knowing that airlines, aviation, aircraft really depend on a carbon-based fuel, on a liquid fuel for some foreseeable, for the foreseeable future.
Airlines have a target on them in terms of political regulators and lobbyists.
Yeah, and the industry has got to push back against that, and the industry has got to demonstrate that we as an industry can do a lot, and almost shame governments into responding, because we've come up with the formula. We've come up with the targets. These targets are aggressive. No other industry that I'm aware of has actually set such challenging targets for themselves. And what we're saying is, now, okay, regulate us, but regulate us to ensure that we achieve these targets. If you tax us, we're not going to do anything to improve the environment. Taxation has been proven to be ineffective when it comes to environmental action.
Why do you think the airline industry has managed to become the whipping boy of this climate issue?
I think the real reason is, although our contribution today, you could argue, is small, at around 2%, slightly over 2%, the problem is people recognise that that contribution is going to grow. As other industries can see a way to replace carbon-based fuels, we cannot, as yet, identify a ready solution to that. And that's why I think people recognise that going forward, our contribution to man-made CO2 will increase unless we can come up with measures to accelerate the decarbonisation of the air transport industry.